Hello everybody, welcome to UPSC Plan. Our Telegram channel name will be this. You can find the PDF in that particular channel. So what is today's video is all about? How to read Polity Lakshmikant in less time. What do I mean by less time? Look, you can complete the textbook in 10 days, and then after you can complete it in 4 days, and then you can simply revise it in 1 day. So that's a process you have to understand. So first, in this video you'll understand how to complete entire Lakshmikant textbook in 10 days, so that if you're used to it, slowly you will come to 1 day technique. Now, how to make mini notes for important facts. Got it? We'll discuss is mini notes is required or not. We will discuss, and how many times to revise. That's also we'll discuss. So, see, there are two fundamental points. You have to read in two ways: polity for prelims and polity for mains. What do you mean by polity for prelims? Look, in prelims we will be dealing with multiple choice questions. So the chance for getting confusion between two options is high. So you have to remember data at any cost. The specificity in prelims is very high. So you need to remember data. And tricks usually don't work for polity subject. What do I mean by tricks? In multiple choice questions or in previous year questions, we will be following some rules. For example, if there is some negative sentence or negative word, we will keep it generally wrong, isn't it? For polity subject, tricks usually don't work. And also, you have to read at least 10 times, particularly high yielding areas. What do I mean by high yielding areas? For example, chapters like executive, legislature, judiciary, fundamental rights, fundamental duties, directive principles of state policies, Panchayati Raj preamble, etc. These chapters you have to read 10 times minimum. So, out of 10 to 15 questions that you get in the examination, you can easily cover about 8 questions if you read these high yielding areas. So, remaining 5 to 10, 5 to 6 questions will be up to your knowledge. Now, for mains, you have to be thorough with current affairs topics, because most of the questions will be coming from the current affairs topics only. They'll be linked with static subjects, static portion. So, go through current affairs, go through the themes. For example, if there is a theme like president is in the news, so go through each and every static portion of the president. If there is some particular department, for example enforcement directorate or CBI or any kind of thing that's happening in the news, so you go to that particular static portion of the department and you read, and also you link current affairs so that your answer looks good in mains is all about examples. That's it. So see, in today's video I'll show you some examples like how to read in less time. So here we go. I have mentioned here three types of readings, okay? In the first reading, what do I mean by first reading? So, whenever you're reading some chapter, entire chapter, you complete it at one go, okay? So, for example, you're reading some amendment of the Constitution chapter. You read the entire chapter at first go, okay? It will take time, but you read. Then, again, in the second reading, highlight what points are felt important. Just highlight, don't do anything else, okay? And in the third reading, if there is some memory based fact or data, you have to make sure you write mini notes for it, or you just mention somewhere on the page. Okay, I'll show you how it works. Look, this is one such chapter in a polity textbook, amendment of the Constitution, isn't it? If you observe closely, I have written few data here. Amendment of the Constitution is dealing with the Article 368. I have written it over there, and it is mentioned in part 20 of the Constitution. So the moment I see that amendment of the Constitution heading, I'll also go through these two. So it becomes easy for me to recollect, to remember also. When I read multiple times, it becomes easy for me. Got it? Along with that, you see what amendment constitutes. It can be addition, it can be variation, or it can be repeal. So these words I have written. So like this, if you write some important specific data on the page, on the top of the page, or somewhere in the textbook, it will be easy for you to remember. Because at first go, if you read this entire page, okay, if you read this entire page at first go, it will take about 5 to 10 minutes, okay. But the moment you divide your page like this, okay, hardly you will revise it in 2 minutes or even one less than 1 minute. Got it? If you see here, I have circled here few sentences, few words, right? What did I do instead? In the beside page, see, in the process of amendment, in either house you can do, either by minister or private member you can do, and president permission is not required to introduce the bill. There is no joint sitting, and president must give assent. It was told by 24th Amendment 1971. See, Constitution can be amended in three ways: simple majority, special majority with ratification. So these kind of things I have written, right? How much time does it take for me to revise? Hardly 30 seconds to 1 minute, right? So if you do it in this, if you do it like this in the second reading, it will be easy for you to revise. Got it? That's why I told 10 days, 7 days, or 4 days, and 1 day. What do I mean by this? 10 days you have to complete by reading everything. 7 days or 4 days you will be reading those highlighted parts. And within 1 day means you have to read things like this. Got it? If you read data like this, any mini notes, it will be easy for you to write. And I'll show other chapters also. For example, see, this is one such page. Okay, same. We can amend the constitution by simple majority of parliament. This is the side heading, right? So in this you see I have highlighted outside the scope of Article 368. So when you are amending the constitution by simple majority, it does not come under Article 368. I have highlighted only that part. See, all these points I need to learn, I need to remember. There is no doubt about it. But this is something that I need to remember because it's like a checkpoint for this paragraph. So identify the checkpoints. In any paragraph, checkpoints will be there. So identify such checkpoints where questions can be asked. So this can be a high yielding area for the paragraph. So that's what I mean to say. Got it? Next, you see this here also. I have highlighted few things. What Casey were told, it strikes a good balance between flexibility and rigidity. So this is something that we can use in mains examination answers. Okay, so that's why I have mentioned it. I have highlighted that particular part. Also, if you see finance commission, you see here finance commission, I have written article 280. It belongs to article 280. It is a quasi judicial body. Okay, recommendations will be given to the president, and also eligible for reappointment. The members will be eligible for reappointment. And also, if you see 1 plus 4, what do I mean by this? The members constitution. Okay, the structure. And also recommendations of finance commission will be under 281. This is what I have written on the top. So hardly it took me 20 to 30 seconds to revise this. Okay, instead of reading the entire page, I'm doing it like this. Also, you can see I have written a short notes like this, beside the page of this chapter only. See, finance commission 1 plus 4 will be there, appointed by president, constituted every fifth year or at such early time, and hold office for such a period. Means, what do I mean by this? No specific tenure or no fixed tenure. Okay, eligible for reappointment is there. Also, chairman should have experience in public affairs. See, I have written all this because these are the things that need to be remembered. Okay, and four members will be there, four members will be like this. Got it? And recommendations advisory in nature but not mandatory. So with the moment I read all this in less than 30 seconds to 1 minute, my revision for that particular chapter will be over. I'll get that confidence. Okay, I can read multiple times. I don't need to read entire page. Okay, see, I don't need to read entire page like this. I can read it in very less time, isn't it? So that's the whole point in dealing such kind of things. And also, you see, this is another such chapter, GST council. In GST council, you see what article it is dealing with. Article 217, and yeah, I have written that. And who constitutes it? President constitutes it. And who is the ex officio secretary for this union revenue secretary? So that's why I'm saying these kind of things. If you write some important points on the heading or anywhere on the page, it will be easy for you to revise. Okay, and see, these are something that I have highlighted. working of the council, three-fourths of the weighted vote, present and voting. These are the things that I have highlighted. And also you can see I have written on the beside page like this. The permanent invited to all its member, chairperson of the central board indirect taxes. Okay, these kind of things. See, 101 constitutional amendment. So paved way for the introduction of GST. Remember, it's not GST council, GST only 101. That's why I mentioned here, you see, council word is important. Did you see? So these kind of things we have to write because those are the checkpoints that can be gone wrong. Got it? Now, see GST Council, joint forum of center and state, 50% quorum is necessary. Center one-fourth, the state two-thirds, but total should be like three-fourths. These kind of things I have written so that I will revise it in very less time. Okay. So when I say mini notes, this is called as mini notes. Either you can write on the top of the page or somewhere on the page, or you can find some blank page in the textbook and write there itself beside the chapters so that you can revise easily. This kind of mini notes, trust me, absolutely necessary because you cannot revise entire polity textbook in one day if you go on reading it. No, it's impossible for anybody, be it all India rank one or be it anybody. Okay, so you have to make sure you write these kind of things. I'll show you another thing also. See, uh, for example, this is one such chapter, judicial review. So I felt in constitution we do not see the word judicial review. I felt this is important, so on the side, on the heading of this chapter I have written like this. So I should remember whenever I read judicial review, immediately the first thing that comes to my mind is this word does not mention in constitution. Okay. And also it was introduced as basic structure by constitution. Okay. uh, by supreme court. These kind of things I have to remember at any cost. And there are some other examples. For example, if you see the salient features of the constitution, it's a bit lengthy chapter, right? So what we will do, we will highlight all the side headings. Lengthiest written constitution drawn from various sources. These kind of things we will be doing. Okay. Along with that, we will write some comparison. We will do some comparison. Why do we compare? We compare to remember only. Okay. See, for example, originally in constitution we have preamble, 395 articles and 8 schedules, isn't it? See, it was given here. It was given here. You can see originally we have this. Okay. Presently how many. So it will be tough for me to read the paragraphs when I'm reading it for revision. So instead what I'll do like this. Originally these are the things that are there. Now presently these are the things that are there. Okay, I'll be writing here. కొత్తగా add, I mean, sorry, what new parts were added. For example, you see here 42nd Amendment through we have added fundamental duties. 78th Amendment through we have added municipalities, Part 9A. So, like this, what parts were added newly? You have to remember these kind of things. Okay, and you can see you can write some checkpoints like this. For these can be used for mains. For prelims, I don't think they will be using. These can be used for mains. Okay. For example, Casey Ware, he told like Indian constitution is quasi-federal. Ivor Jennings, he told federation with centralizing tendency. So these kind of things, if you have written as mini notes, it will be easy for you. And also, you see, there are some things. The term federation nowhere used in the constitution. If you write these kind of things, you can remember them easily whenever you write. Okay. Next, for example, you see union and its territory chapter. Article 1 to 4 it will be dealing, and part 1 it will be dealing. We have 28 states and we have 8 union territories. And there is something to compare, which can be used for mains as well. India and US. India is indestructible union of destructible states. US is indestructible union of indestructible states. Okay. When you read the chapters, you'll understand what do you mean by these terms. Got it? So I used to revise like this because I can complete it in less than 1 to 2 days before the day of examination. And even directive principles of state policy, you can see it was mentioned in part 4, articles 36 to 51. These are non-justifiable. Okay, these kind of things I used to write because I can revise them easily, isn't it? See, here I have written Article 36 includes legislative and executive organs, all local authorities, all other public authorities. So these kind of things, they seek to establish economic and social democracy. When we particularly talk about DPSPs, right? So these kind of things, it will be used. So this is how, you have to prepare mini notes. First point, okay. This is how you have to write some key facts, articles or bodies or members involved, those kind of things you can write. So if you do this, you can complete entire polity in 4 days maximum 4 days, and minimum 1 day also you can complete it. See, this sounds very simple for you on paper, but it takes minimum 10 to 20 days to do it for going to this level of 4 days. Got it? So, so there are some frequent questions asked. Let us see. Is note making necessary for polity subject? Uh, Mostly no need, but before the day of exam, you cannot read everything, right? You cannot read entire 500 to 700 pages of textbook. So preparing notes for some areas, at least for high yielding areas, preparing some minimal notes, okay, mini notes, it definitely gives you edge over the others, because what do you need before the day of the examination? You need only confidence, right? How do you get confidence? You get confidence only when you complete the syllabus, when you complete the entire subject. So you cannot really practically complete the entire subject if you read line by line, isn't it? So to read multiple times, to revise multiple times in less than 4 hours or 3 hours, you need to follow some minimal notes, okay? How many times to read before the exam? So before attempting any exam, particularly for polity subject, a minimum of 5 to 7 times is necessary. Many people read greater than 10 times. I know people who read 20 times, 30 times. They plan like that. They keep on reading because they'll remember the things. Does polity PYQs helps? Yes, definitely. Language can be understood, and also uh, from what areas the questions are being given, and how the questions are giving in a particular area. For example, if there is a topic called president, if you observe the options, what kind of questions were being asked in president, whether it is being asked for any tenure, or who appoints who, or how a wrong option is given in particular chapter. If you observe such questions, you can understand the areas from where the questions were being asked, and what is the importance of the subject in prelims. Trust me, you can score 20% of marks in a single exam, okay? You can score 20%. 20% means, for example, if the cutoff is 100, got it, you can get 20 marks from polity only. Sometimes even you can get 30 to 35 marks also, I'm telling you. So that's the importance of this particular subject. Make sure you follow all these points and try to complete polity subject in less than 4 days, okay? If you have any doubts, you can ask me in the comment section. Also, you go through our telegram channel, UPSC plan DKV. Thank you, have a nice day.